Okay, so Giannis returned. Love that for him. Didn't matter, though. 108, 81.
Did not matter at all.
Win for Boston. Man, Boston's got a lot of weapons, you guys. And looking at you, Gonzalez with the 18 points, 16 rebounds, both career highs for him. This has been an amazing story, and I know we're all very much focused right now on the return of Jason Tatum, when that may or may not happen. But what they've done without Jason Tatum, you guys, has been absolutely insane. I heard somebody talking this morning that if Jaylen Brown's not considered an MVP or at least top 3, then you got to give Joe Mazzulla a Coach of the Year nod, right, Lou? Like, this is a great story.
Yeah, I think both deserves that attention. On the outside looking in, we're surprised. I don't know if anybody in the Boston Celtics organization is surprised by the success that they've still had. You know, you look at Jason Tatum going out, but then you start plugging and playing other guys into the rotation, and they've continued on. So not much has changed since they've been a championship caliber team. Granted, they did get bounced in the second round by the New York Knicks last year, but they've come back this year, got off to a slow start, and been able to right the ship ever since then, and been a quality basketball team and put themselves in a position to be talked about. And so shame on us for doubting them when Jason Tatum went out. You know, Joe Mazzulla, knowing what his pedigree is as a coach, knowing what Jaylen Brown is as a player. You've seen the emergence of Peyton Pritchard and how good and how special he's become. We thought this team was doomed once Drew Holiday and Al Horford went out of the lineup. Once JT went down with his injury, we thought, man, it's going to be a long stretch for the Boston Celtics to be a competitive team in the East again. And we were all wrong, you know, and so for those reasons, Jaylen Brown deserves to be in the MVP conversation. And you got to take a look at Joe Mazzulla and what he's been able to do with his basketball team, being the head of the snake as the head coach. Both of those guys in their own rights deserves to be celebrated. But if you ask them, what have they done? I'm sure the message is we haven't done anything. We're having a pretty good regular season run right now, but it's no time to smell the flowers. We still got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I think when you look at the Pistons and the Celtics, they're both kind of unexpected. I mean, the Pistons had a run last year. They had a great season, but I didn't know if they're going to make this kind of jump, especially without a clear-cut number 2. We all knew how good Cade Cunningham was, but I didn't know that defense and toughness could get you this much of a dominating regular season like the Detroit Pistons have done. And when you look at with the Celtics, everything Lou just said is so true. Like, these guys, when Mazzulla took over this job, they were the favorite. They were the best team in the NBA. There was no question of the talent. Now everybody, you know, no Tatum, he goes down. Porzingis out, Holiday out, and they don't miss a beat. And if you saw those odds right there, it could go either way. Like, obviously, I'm pro JB Bickerstaff. I think what he's done
it's going to be
Detroit,
Bickerstaff.
It's got to be. Think about how great of a season Boston's had. It's not as good as the Pistons, and the Pistons, I could argue, have way less talent than this Boston Celtics team. So they're both doing a phenomenal job. Mitch Johnson's doing a great job.
He really is.
From Phoenix has done a great job. Like, I thought they were going to be terrible, and they're a really good team. So there's a lot of great coaches, great young coaches, but there's no denying what Joe Mazzulla has done with this team with such low expectation. Maybe that's why. Maybe they just flew under the radar, and their expectations were so low when everybody left that they've just coasted, and they've had the same mindset, the same approach every single day. And
this is the way to do it.
They're not just a good regular season team, and they got help on the way too with Tatum coming back. Like, this is a real legit contender, which is crazy as much turnover as they've had.
This was supposed to be a gap year, Boston. This is not how this was going to go. They did get bounced in the second round last season. Am I crazy? Am I assuming everybody assumes they will do better this year? Which again,
I think so.
It's crazy.
Now, after I've seen what they've done so far this season,
It's trending that way.
Yeah, like, I mean, I got no reason to not think that they can't, go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, they're the second best team in the East. They're an unbelievable defensive team. They have such a good bench.
Ooh.
They have shooting. Like, with those odds, for sure. Like, I mean, again.
And they've been able to do it under the radar too, Chandler. That's
Which is
another
beautiful.
thing. Like, we haven't heard any narratives. We haven't heard any storylines. We haven't had any controversy out of Boston. Nothing. They're just steady, playing good basketball, building day after day, building good building blocks. And again, knowing the personalities of Joe Mazzulla, knowing the personality of Jaylen Brown, those guys, they want their lick back. Like, losing last year in the second round, they want their lick back. That's not a team that hung their heads when Jason Tatum went out of the lineup. They just they strapped their boots on, and they did the best that they can do to put themselves in a position to be talked about now. They'll probably prefer us not to have this conversation right
100%.
now and stay under the radar and continue to do what they're already doing.
And as good as the Pistons have been, like, I struggle with, like, I struggle with being like, oh, they're a lock to, like, usually if I've seen this much of a dominating regular season, I'd be like, oh, yeah, they're the clear cut to come out of that conference. Like,
They got to do it.
I don't necessarily think that with the Pistons. Like, they have their issues. They lack shooting. I don't know who that number 2 option is when things get slower and more bogged down in the half court with Cade Cunningham. Again, I think they're the most complete, consistent team in the East. And I think we got some updated odds here to throw up there. Oh no, they jumped him.
What?
Look, but like that's my point. How are the Detroit Pistons 45-14, 5 games up on the Celtics?
I tell you why.
And they got the 4th best
because
odds?
I tell you why. Because they are the number 1 team right now, but we just haven't seen them do it on the grand stage. We haven't seen them do it on the grand stage.
Yeah.
We've seen Boston on the grand stage. We've seen what they're capable of, especially if we're waiting for Jason Tatum's return, and it could be as early as in the next 72 hours. If that's something that we can look forward to, then obviously those odds are going to shift. So until Detroit quiets all of that, the odds are going to be the odds.
And you know why it's not that like if the Thunder lost the second round to the Timberwolves, you'd be like, whoa, like that's a huge upset, right? Like if the Cavs beat the Pistons in the second round, you'd be like, like I can see it. Like
they gotta get
it's
there.
not that surprising, although they are the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference.
Just got to get over that hump.
I mean, this is what we did with the Thunder until they did it.
We gotta see it.
It's a different.
We gotta see it.
They're different now. But we did mention yesterday that Bill Simmons sort of predicted or is saying that Jason Tatum is possibly making the big return Friday, which they'll be at home playing Dallas. I was going to ask, does that make them the favorites? But apparently they have already.
Yeah, the fact that, again, that they are the favorites to come out of the East without a game from Jason Tatum and the amount of turnover that they had with all the guys that we just said they lost with Horford and Porzingis and Holiday, and they're still the favorites. Like, it's crazy. It just shows you how great of a season Jaylen Brown's had. Shows you how consistent and good Derek White is. They got guys like Keita, who's going to be in talks of most improved player. Peyton Pritchard, you know what you're going to get with that dude. Sam Hauser is going to come in and knock down shots. The addition of Vucevic now is unbelievable to be able to have them even space the floor more, pick and pop, open the floor, gives Brown even more room to attack. Pritchard, White, like that is such a key pickup for them at the trade deadline. So, again, Bill Simmons knows a lot of things Boston, and so I'd love to see it back. And Dallas is a great team to come back to against.
And we did our predictions yesterday, and we all had different picks, right? And I did have Boston, but if you're telling me yesterday I had Boston and Jason Tatum is coming back, I'm doubling down on that. And you know why I have that prediction? Is because what we just talked about. I've already seen them do it. I have the confidence in knowing they have the pieces, they have everything that's needed to get there again. So even though last year was a letdown for them, they didn't hang their heads. Like I said, they're right back in their conversation. And again, if you're going to get Jason Tatum by the end of this week, then now he has a good runway of time to get prepared for the postseason. So he's going to have enough regular season games to catch a rhythm, figure out whether he's going to be in the starting lineup, whether he's going to come off the bench, what his minutes restrictions are. All of these different things they can work through. They're not working through it against time. They have a lot of time where they can be patient. He could have some setbacks. They can figure some things out. And then come the postseason, he could be the Jason Tatum that we all know. That makes Boston way more stronger than I thought they were yesterday.
You know what's crazy is, like, especially I'm thinking of New York Knicks fans, just because there's already a deep-rooted hate between the two sets. Like, you're thinking all season long, like, oh, the East is wide open because Boston, and now all of a sudden Boston is very much there. Like, that to me is such a gut
And the Knicks, I feel like, are a team we're not even really like.
No?
Now it's like the Cavs got better at the deadline. We know how tough and good the Pistons are. The Celtics are like. We talk about the Knicks like 3rd or 4th or 5th, like in the East.
Funny.
Like Philly is a surprising team that can make a run. Like the Eastern Conference is a lot better than we expected it to be.
It's so much.
Toronto, we don't even talk about. Toronto's been consistently good all year long.
That's another team we continue to overlook.
We don't even give them a chance.
We really do. We gotta stop doing that. All right, we're gonna make a concerted effort to not leave Toronto out from now on. The obvious question, and I know what you guys are gonna say, but any issues worried about chemistry? That they've been doing this all season long, and now Tatum comes back.
No. We've had this conversation once before, and they won a championship. The last time we talked about chemistry with the Boston Celtics, they went out and proved. This is what I love about them. All of the outside noise, they do a great job of just blocking it out. Whether they try to make Jason Tatum be the best player in the world or Jaylen Brown. I haven't had this conversation all year.
I love it.
We start having a conversation about Jason Tatum coming back into the lineup. Here we are again with this conversation. They know that Jaylen Brown knows, hey, look, I can lead a team to victories. Jason Tatum knows I can lead a team to victories. They do it as a collective. They don't pinpoint who's the guy, who's the best player, this and that. No, they just go out and put the best product on the floor that they possibly can. So if you're telling me that a team that had Jason Tatum before he was hurt had more success than they have now, that's gonna mess up the chemistry. Like, no, these are just talking points.
Is there a margin though, like a little time to get used to it again?
Well,
Like,
again,
what's that look
this
like?
is going to be a slow grind for Jason Tatum.
Absolutely.
This
It's gonna
dude's
be
coming
patient.
off a major
believe it.
injury. He's going to be on a minute restriction. He's probably going to be coming off the bench. Like, there's going to be things that he's going to have to adjust to and get used to, like most of these guys that like go through something that he's gone through. So again, I think just being able this early with 20 plus games left to get these reps and to get this type of game speed, possessions under his belt before the playoffs, I think is huge. Obviously, I don't think he's going to play in back-to-backs. Like, I think there's going to be a bunch of limitations on him. But anytime you can add Jason Tatum at any level, 50, 60, 70, 100%, it's going to make that team better.
I know you guys are younger than me, but remember we had video games with the car racing, and then you always had the option to hit the nitro button for a little extra pop. That's a thing that, well, I'm 50. It was awesome. Tatum is the nitro
Like Mario
button.
Kart?
Yeah, but there was like a little, like if you were just do, and then you could just hit a little nitro
No, it was
pop.
Mario Kart, you ran over the mushroom. And
So there you go. He is the mushroom then, in this analogy. And I'm excited for Boston. I'm just excited for Boston to crush dreams out east. Grant Williams recently said, and this is a good one, Tatum impacts winning more than Luka. Bum, bum, bum.
He said that?
Yes. Who's saying no to this?
I mean, Tatum's got a championship, so it's hard to argue, right?
Well, I think it's possible.
I mean, they're both great players. Again, I don't even want to do this. And Grant
Do
Williams
it.
obviously was Jason Tatum's teamate, one of his close friends. So again, it's not that
think he's
hot
unbiased.
of a take. But I mean, Tatum versatility, defensively, size-wise. Again, offensively, I think Luka's got a little bit more to his game, just playmaking stuff, obviously. But I mean, listen, they're both. What are we doing? They're both great
you
players.
just can't
and
say it. You don't.
I did. I mean, he's got a
So-
championship, but he's also been on better teams than Luka as well.
Really?
And I think those better teams has a lot to do with him.
Grant played
Tatum,
with
yeah.
Luka, by the way, just for
Yeah,
hoops
for
and
a
giggles.
minute.
Doesn't matter. He played with him.
Okay. Well, what do you want from me? He's best friends with Jason Tatum.
Is he-
This
is
isn't
he
a
best
hot
friends?
take.
Is he actually best friends?
It's not a hot take at all.
Not a hot take.
Okay, good. That's what I just wanted to hear. The return of Giannis should have been a bigger deal, I think, but
Giannis
look,
played?
He did, and he played well. He hasn't played in the last 15 games, but they are 3.5 games out of the play-in right now. And by the way, body language it was very weird last night. Is there a world in which this team even has the capability of going on a run?
I don't even think they want to.
I
Like
don't
Ryan
know.
Rollins.
Yeah, I
By the way, Ryan Rollins coming off the bench. Like what's going on?
Why
here?
is Giannis even back? Like, what's the point of this?
What's going on with this?
just-
They can't.
Well,
play.
he's a pro, so if he's healthy,
Okay.
he should compete.
I like that.
That's what I stand on. No, I just think this team is poised and they're looking towards the future. And I gotta agree with something Chandler it just alluded to, like the body language. It was weird last night. Like it looked like at some times that they were just out there going through the motions.
Like, they weren't even happy. He was back.
Yeah, they were going through the motions and give credit to where it's due last night. Like the Celtics came in and they were a motivated basketball team, and they just took it to them. I expected the Bucks to fight back, especially with this being the return of Giannis and everything being made of the trade and him staying there. You wanted to see them fight, and so they got a lot of things to figure out. They have some young pieces that they can build with and build around, but they also have a lot of roster pieces that they got to figure out what's in the future and who can help them win basketball games. You know, you go out and get Cam Thomas. He had 2 points last night. He's one of those guys that you got to figure out how to get going. Ryan Rollins coming off the bench. That was an interesting thing. He's been a bright spot for them, you know. And Bobby, I got BP. He didn't have his most efficient night last night. But these are quality pieces that they can do something with. And then once you bring Giannis back into that fold, I was just expecting a different outcome of the game last night. And they just got it handed to them, and the body language wasn't there. The competitive juices wasn't flowing. And it just looks like a bad mix right now for what Milwaukee is doing. And so, you know, you asked the question, what is Giannis doing out there? I want to see you in the lineup. If you're healthy enough to play, I want to see you in the lineup because you can impact winning. But, you know, if last night was a telltale sign of what's going to happen throughout the duration of the rest of the season, I say sit him out.
Yeah, if this is just a small sample size and the way they played last night, and like Lou just said, like there was no buzz, there was no energy. Like
weird.
it just felt like this
Deflated.
was just he was playing because optically he needed to play. And
Is he
obviously-
auditioning? We already know what you do.
No, he's the last guy. Like
I
I think
know,
that needs to audition. It's
you're
just
like Leo. You
just
have to
felt
audition.
like he's healthy. He should play. This team, I feel like, is not a good team in general, and obviously they're much better with Giannis. But they scored 81 points. You're not going to beat anybody.
Bro.
You're not going to beat anybody scoring. I've seen that in a half. Like that's not ideal. And again, obviously Giannis changes the whole dynamic of this team. But they're in a weird limbo land where they don't know their future. They don't know what's going to happen this summer. They have so many questions and no answers. And again, I like that he's healthy enough to play and be out there, but I don't know if they necessarily want to win games.
It just means that the
season.
summer of Giannis started.
Like Ryan
today.
Rollins is the only bright spot in this whole season. He's coming off the bench now. Like, riddle me that.
It's gonna be a long one. It's gonna be a long one where Giannis is concerned. We did have